Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Bad Days podcast. Just me today. We're going to talk about TwitchCon. A lot of crazy stuff happened at TwitchCon. I was there, but I actually found out about most of it through Twitter, and then like various people telling me like, hey, did you go to this Lenovo booth? And I was like, yeah, I had like a really fun little ore fight, and I fell into a foam pit. It was awesome. And they're like, no, not awesome. Some former corn star actually broke her spine in 2 different places there. So we're going to talk about that, and I just kind of want to talk about the event in general. It was my very first TwitchCon. I'm not a streamer. I actually just went to go kick it with my cousin, just like have like a fun boys weekend, because I've been going on a lot of YouTube trips and a lot of like work trips, and then it turned into like the best YouTube work trip, but also the most fun trip of my entire life. So let's talk about it. I think the first thing we need to talk about is the big terrible thing that happened at the con. So this guy on Twitter, Jake Lucky, has been covering everything really, really well. Like he has a whole thread. Obviously, the thread has 135,000 likes. A lot of people are watching it, where it covers everything. The the Twitch streamer, Adriana Chekic, she's the one who got hurt. So she used to be a corn star, so a lot of people know her from that, but she transitioned to being an actor and now a streamer. And so basically, you get up on these little pile or you get up on these little stands, and you have these like little foam ores, and you fight, and then you fall into this ball pit full of like foam cubes. What you guys don't know, what I know, because I was actually at the booth, is that it's maybe like that much in between the ground. It's like maybe 2 cubes high, 2.5 cubes high, and then you could feel down there, and then it's just like straight up concrete. So this happened, which guys, this is kind of graphic for those of you who don't want to see something graphic. This is literally someone falling and breaking their spine. She thinks she's okay at first, and then it's revealed that she is not. So this is Adriana. And look, she thinks she's okay at first, right? She's moving. And then then she can't move. And people are still laughing like everything's okay. And they're laughing. They're like cheering medic, but...
All right, we'll make sure she's okay.
Oh,
Get her
wow.
out, okay?
Landed on her tailbone.
Yeah.
God.
Now she lives in the pit now, that kind of thing.
And then like the Lenovo spectators just like keep commentating this event, which that feels like a special kind of crazy to me. So she landed on her tailbone, and I guess she like went through the little foam cubes and like straight up hit the ground on her tailbone and broke her spine in 2 different places. She has this tweet: well, I broke my back in 2 places and I'm getting surgery to put a meter rod in support today. Send your support when it rains and pours. I'm definitely feeling the rain right now. God, like just absolutely heartbreaking. And she's not even the only person to get hurt there, because this person got hurt. There's another streamer, she dislocated her knee during it. So there's a lot of stuff. And the crazy thing is, right after this happens, after she falls, they don't shut the booth down. The booth actually runs for a lot longer. I know this because I heard about it way later, but apparently it happened midday while I was like walking around the con. And then when I went over there, it was Ludwig, Neff, Hassan, Piker, and XQC going at it in the booth. And then afterwards, I had the amazing, here's a little flex personal story. I met Neff at Ludwig's Mogul Money Live, just kind of like in the parking lot on the way out. Didn't really have much of a conversation. He was super sweet, wonderful. I DM'd him on Instagram afterwards, and we followed each other. I thought it was like a cosmetic for show follow. But Neff is like an OG homie for life, because when we saw each other at this thing after he was done having his little like war with Ludwig, Hasan, XQC, which thank God none of them got hurt. He was like, dude, I love your videos. I love the Mickey thing, blah, 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 blah. And like we had like a really wonderful, nice conversation. So shout out to Neff. While we were there, we took this picture. Look how handsome he is. He's so sweet. He's so kind. We saw each other again later that night. He actually got me into the 100 Thieves party, which was crazy. One of the coolest parties of my entire existence. It gave me the worst imposter syndrome ever, because I was just like around all the creators I watched. Like I was literally at a bar with Ludwig Ogren, just like drinking, talking to him, Michael Reeves, and Jarvis Johnson about Tokyo and Japan. It was crazy. But yeah, Neff was super sweet. He didn't get hurt, but as you can see this background, that is the booth. Like that is the booth where the incident had happened hours before. So they didn't take it down. So a lot of people are calling to cancel TwitchCon, to cancel Twitch. So we'll see how all of that plays out. I also met Caleb City. This is unrelated to that story, but I kind of want to share. When I got my start on the internet, I was actually a Viner, or I was a YouTuber. I sucked at it, and then I started doing Vine. I had one video I was really, really proud of that I thought was genuinely very funny. And Caleb City, this man amazing, if you guys haven't heard of him, you should, because he's one of the funniest skit creators that have ever existed. He saw it and he revived it. And it kind of gave me my first start and like my first like real confidence that I can like do this, like be a content creator. And bumping into him outside of the con, like a once in a lifetime moment that just like, I will have imposter syndrome forever. But it really like, it was a full circle moment for me. Let's chat more just how I felt about TwitchCon. Honestly, going there, I didn't expect anything. I went there just to have fun, and it ended up being an incredible, incredible event. I think both for like your regular day-to-day creators as well as like people who are lucky enough to like get into those, those crazy big Twitch parties and those cool events. I also, for those of you who know me, I have a terribly antagonistic relationship with TikTok. Well, I got to go to a TikTok live event and finally meet some employees there. So I kind of have like a better footing of like, maybe my account I've actually had my TikTok account at 5 million followers get completely deleted from the internet 6 separate times. But now I have some context at TikTok, and it purely was because I made it to this event. So events like TwitchCon are really, really pivotal to creators, to network, to meet other people in the same niche as you, to kind of have this like IRL moment where you connect with what you're doing. I took pictures with so many fans, more fans than I could ever describe, which was like mind-boggling. Also, I got to meet some of my favorite esports players and people. This is Evan and Caitlin. They're wonderful YouTubers, and we actually have the same editors. If you guys watch any of the Bad Days shorts as well as the Bad Days podcast, Chris is both of our editors. We never met each other. We didn't know anything about each other. And then we were just talking. I was like, wait, do you guys have an editor named Chris? And we had this like incredibly cathartic, exciting, like, oh my God, he's our guy, and like moment, which is just like lovely beyond belief. So like my experience at TwitchCon was incredible. I mean, it really was just this moment where I got to connect with people. A lot of what we're doing on Bad Days going forward is going to be inspired by this beautiful man right here, Jarvis Johnson. Jarvis really like kicked me into gear of like, hey, here's what you got to do. Here's how you got to do it. And here's the pitfalls and things to go through. And it was really, really incredible to speak to somebody that I've watched that much. And I only got to do it because I was there at TwitchCon. I also got to meet people that I didn't necessarily know, but I've heard about recently in the news, like Kai, the most subscribed guy on Twitch, just took a quick selfie after I was on talking to Caleb City. So yeah, experience-wise, TwitchCon was like the experience of my life. Let me tell you guys how I got into the 100 Thieves party, because I think this is I know I'm only covering news, but we're gonna kind of go Bad Days podcast style here and just share like a personal story. So we were invited to like the Twitch party, which was Meg the Stallion performing. She pulled Master Chief onto stage at one point to dance with her. So I gotta mute the audio so we don't get copyrighted, but that's a Master Chief cosplayer dancing with Meg the Stallion on stage at TwitchCon. I was invited to that party, so I actually had tickets to it, but we decided to not go. We decided to roll the dice to see if we get into the most exclusive party of the whole con, the 100 Thieves party. And me and my friend Cam got there. Cam, he's a creator that goes by the name Illusion on everything. He's a Fortnite streamer. And we're in this line. We're hanging out with Team TikTok because we met them the morning before at the TikTok brunch. We're really vibing. We're connecting. And we're like, hey, well, you think you could get a couple top-level TikTok creators into the event? And they're like, we wish. Like, we absolutely can't do it. It's a super exclusive party. And even before we get in the line, there's like this crazy, like, intense woman at the front. Like, by the way, if you don't have tickets and you're not on my list, you will not be admitted into this party. I'm letting you know right now, you will not get into this. Like, really, really intense, scary, scary lady. She's like, I don't know if you have tickets or not, but I'm letting you know right now, you're not going to get in here. So she's freaking out. So we still get in this line anyways. Just fuck it. We're going to get in this line. We're going to hang out. At the very least, we're going to be next to some creators, maybe make some friends. We did make some friends. We get to hang out with some really cool people. But yeah, we get to the front of the line. And I'm like, no, we got to bail. We got to get out of here. Because if she sees us, then there's no shot we'll ever get into this or any other event because she'll recognize us. She like works at 100 Thieves. So we exit the line. I'm standing in the front and we're just hanging out, talking. And then the beautiful man I was just talking about earlier, Will Neff, walks out. He goes, hey, Hasan, are you going to get in? Are you going to be able to? And I'm like, I don't think so. He goes, one sec, I got you. And then he goes and gets me this yellow wristband that lets me into this party to have the night of my life. And also, shout out to Will Neff for just being the most genuine person, because he didn't just let me in. He didn't just talk to me for a little bit. We're in the bar having a conversation at this club, and we were talking about, I was like, yeah, Will, if you ever need Mickey Mouse for a video, you got to let me know. And he was like, yeah, absolutely. But you know who I also want? This beautiful, handsome, talented, creative man right here. And he's talking about me, which like was just mind-boggling because I love him as a creative. I love him as a person. So it was a really special moment for me, but it kind of cemented like where I was and how insane the situation. Earlier that day in the pit, I did get this terrible selfie of me with Ludwig, and it was really quick, and he had to be super fast because he had to get out of there. Mickey's even in it, right? And then later that night, I didn't get a picture of it, but I was standing at a bar with him, having a really wonderful conversation. This whole trip kind of inspired me and made me realize like maybe I am worth more than I give myself credit for. Maybe I will be on my way to becoming, you know, a top level creator at some point soon, not just defined by Mickey, but maybe defined by my own actions and what I'm interested in. So TwitchCon meant a lot to me. I'm not even really a Twitch streamer, but it was a once in a lifetime moment that I really think like fed my soul. It's the best way to put it. Like I left there so happy and so ready to create in a way that I don't think I have been in a really, really long time, like a really, really long time. So that's kind of my experience at TwitchCon. I also met like a bunch of other people, and we could just like scrub through some of these photos. That's Tyler One, right? That's Julian, Jenna Marbles' significant other. Like there were some crazy folks I got to meet. I have a picture with TSM Myth somewhere, and I love Myth. Myth is great. Like it was so special, and I got to meet all these cool people, and I feel really affirmed, really happy, really excited. So a little different video. I know we started with a little bit of news coverage. So I love TwitchCon. I had a wonderful moment. I wish YouTube would host something similar in scope. Fingers crossed the hashtag cancel TwitchCon doesn't go to fruition, but also Lenovo and the people who were responsible for that booth really get held accountable because it was beyond effed up what happened to these creators. But yeah, my name's Hasan. That's me covering a little bit of TwitchCon. I sincerely hope your bad days are your best stories, and we'll be back tomorrow with something different.